Happy World Ballet Day. Welcome to Moscow, Russia. One could argue that Moscow, Russia is the capital of ballet. But after today, after watching 5 different companies with numerous other companies joining in, I'm proud to say that not only am I a ballet dancer, but I am a global citizen and a global ambassador for this wonderful profession that we live in. Today, currently, I'm a principal dancer and the only American in the Kremlin Ballet Company in Moscow, Russia. I am so excited today to open the world of my company, which would seem to most a recluse company in the heart of Moscow. Thank you guys so much for sending your questions and showing your interest into my small but interesting and incredibly wonderful world. Although it presents a daily challenge as a foreigner living in Russia, it has provided me with some of the most rewarding and wonderful times in my entire career. Kremlin ballet dancers stay fit by visualization and performing quite often. So I would prefer that my company dancers would have more of a cross-training regime. Most of my fellow dancers prefer to really rest on instinctual and practiced routines. The Kremlin Ballet currently employs over 100 dancers and an orchestra of 70 orchestra artists. The toughest part about living in Russia is definitely coming against the cultural norms and the cultural conundrum of the tall poppy syndrome. So definitely I find myself oftentimes being penalized for creating creative incentive, and sometimes I struggle to let my imagination take the form that it wants to take. I dream of one day dancing Giselle, and I hope that that day will come soon. The Kremlin Ballet is a company started 25 years ago by Andrei Borisovich Petrov, who was a dancer in the Bolshoi, and he started the Kremlin Ballet after the end of the Soviet Union in order to keep the Kremlin Palace as a performing arts venue, and he started to create and choreograph his own ballets and his own versions of the great Russian classics. My favorite role that I dance currently is really difficult to pick because I really enjoy roles where I can be a character on stage, and a lot of the technically demanding roles require you to be very much present. Swan Lake is a challenge that will never get old, and it is a very difficult ballet, but I really enjoy when I can let go and let Tchaikovsky's music take over me. And I really have enjoyed the role as the Russian girl, Kubava, in Andrei Borisovich's Snow Maiden, because there I'm able to connect with certain instances in my past and really draw from those raw emotions and really put another layer of character onto that role and make it my own. Even though from the audience's perspective, what can an American say as a Russian girl? So it's quite an interesting and challenging role that I enjoy tackling. I really enjoy creating a cross-training routine that is very fluid and adaptable to what I need in the moment. So I really love pursuing cardio challenges as well as adding strength training, Pilates, yoga, and meditation. Those are really important things that I like to factor into my daily routine. Strict coaches and mentors are good for personal growth and good to teach you to embrace your own freedom and really savor the moment and savor dancing. Improvement takes practice and consistency. Consistency is one of the most important factors in any profession. You could be ballet, it could be building a house. Finding something in a certain routine that you repeat every day is, in a way, a meditation. And one of the reasons why I love ballet, because it doesn't matter if you have been the princess or a queen the night before on stage. Everyone has to come back to the bar, regardless of who they are and what their name is and how many medals they have. Memorization and learning new choreography comes easily to some and harder to others. For me, I really love utilizing the tools that the 21st century has presented us, which is video technology. And so for me, the first steps that I take when learning a new ballet is I watch the video over and over and over again and memorize the music, and then I play with the arms in my bathroom window and mirror. Unfortunately, unhealthy competition is something that all companies struggle with. There is one thing that I wish I could get rid of, and jealousy is something that is poisonous. And I think it's really important to embrace each dancer on the path that they are with love and acceptance, and root out jealousy wherever, because it will spoil and it will harm. It brings no good. To be a ballerina, one must be willing to sacrifice, and one must be able to be with oneself, to embrace the loneliness and to embrace feeling alone. To be a ballerina is to be able to not be afraid to be alone with one's thoughts and one's judgments, and to be able to love yourself.
Questions for you and for the dancers at the Kremlin? For dancers at the Kremlin, was a career in ballet something that they wanted for themselves originally, or that their parents pushed them to do? And for dancers at the Kremlin and you, Joy, what do you want to do after you're done dancing?
Russia, many dancers were forced into this profession by their parents. So oftentimes, as they get into their late 20s, it becomes a real struggle to find motivation and to find your why. And my heart goes out to many of the dancers who can't or lose track of their why. One of my dearest passions and one of my hopes for my future self is to be able to be in a capacity to be able to let my creative passions and desire to lead be something that could take a form of authority. So I would love to be able to be creating content, creating movement, creating performances, and helping dancers find their passion and find their why.